Anyway, leaving Saber to the side now, let's move on to Shakir now. Mr. Haroon, Muhammad Haroon, Halifax,
Yes, sir.
Pakistani, go ahead with Shakir.
Definitely know him. I've seen him. I've heard of him. I know him personally. He's a good guy. Um, he has been with the Tories, I don't know, 10, 15 years, which I never liked. Um, but I'm glad that after October 7th, he's seen some sense um, and went independent. Um, as far as it comes for Palestine, has he done anything in the community? Have I heard him speak for Palestine? No, I really, to be honest, I haven't. Um, so he's just another one as well who's um, come new and is using Palestine uh, for his political agenda. Now, the thing is about trust with him. For me, it's about trust with him. Um, because he's been with conservatives, uh, can we trust him? You know, so he has got to prove it. So far, he's been saying some good things. Um, the locals are supporting him. So it's about trust now, to be honest with you, with him. Um,
Yeah, let me give you a
how do
bit.
you,
Let me give you a bit of background as to what happened. So on the 17th of April, all the candidates were invited. The independent candidate, Shakir, Saber, and there's another guy called Sohail. He's standing in Park Ward.
yeah,
Shakir, the way it happened with Shakir, yeah, is that the community got together. It's called the Independent HX1 Independent Initiative. So these are a group of brothers, yeah, a group of people that got together at an emergency meeting on the 17th of March, and there was an announcement made the Jummah before for everyone to attend, but only about 10 people attended. And this is where we scrutinized these candidates. Sabr attended, Shakir attended, and so forth. Now, Sabr, as you mentioned, he only stood there for half an hour, less than that, and he left. Yeah, Shakir stayed there for the full time duration, and so did Sohail. So let me talk about Sohail first because that'll be a very quick one. Sohail, when he was questioned, and one of the questions that I can still remember, when did you leave? So he mentioned first he said he left in May 2023. Then he said
which was a lie.
yeah, which wasn't right. Let me finish it off here. Then he said he left in August. But then when the question was asked, you were contesting for election in Wally in May 2023, and he got embarrassed. So this one character didn't know what he left. So I'd personally class him as
He's a fake.
or I'd class him as being a
Or he's
fake.
confused.
No, confused, or I'd class him as a fake, as you rightly said, or he's an undercover labor. Now, we don't know. He pushed himself into it, yeah, and that's what we need, some independent. So with Shakar, yeah, what happened is that the whole of the community decided to propose to Shakar to move out of Park Ward and move into Wally, and we selected Asif Bashir, who was part of the Halifax Independent Initiative, to represent us in Park Ward. So when we went to see Shakar, yeah, and he did not want him to become an independent candidate. So he, because of his family backing and because of his big BLADARY system and stuff, he was very reluctant to give the post up. And had he cooperated, we would have been in a complete different position. We would have been in a position where we would have had a fresh faced independent candidate, Asif Bashir, and we would have all been united behind him to select him and make him victorious in the next election. But it didn't happen. So this is the scenario here. Now, my opinion on Shakar, yeah, and the two other candidates, all I can say is that he's been fighting against the Labour Party for 20 years. So he has not slept with the enemy. Whereas Sabar has slept with the enemy for 20 years. Sadia is already sleeping with the enemy, and she'll know whether she'll be burned by the enemy. There's a BUNNED, which is a sandwich type of bun, because it's happened to Huram Majid, yeah, who is the Ellen candidate, and it's happened to the recent MP Azhar Ali. So be aware of this, Sadia. If you are going to, if you lose, yeah, Labour are not your best friends. Labour, they in Punjabi they say Labour is not your chacha. Yeah, they are tere chache tae nahi. Yeah, so this is what's going to happen to you. You joined the party of genocide. It's well known up and down the country. I'm not saying it. Everyone is saying it. Yeah, all I can do is advise you and make dua for you. I went to Makkah Medina in Ramadan. I made specific dua for you and for Huram converted. Yeah, although he was majboor, he he was forced to quit, but at least he came for an interview and he exposed the working of the Labour Party. Now, whoever is behind the scenes that is pulling the string for Sadia, yeah, and we know who he is because the hypocrites behind the scene are united. I've asked Dr. Fiaz to come forward, he's not coming forward. Yeah, we know Faisal Shokat, yeah, he's been part of the Labour Party, and he thinks that he has not left he's left the Labour Party in May, but yet again his puppy or his employee Shahzad Fazal is still working for him. Why isn't he asking him to resign the Labour Party, as the community has mentioned to him several times to quit the Labour Party and go independent? Well, yeah, because of Shahzad Fazal and the Labour stronghold, we've got problem with fly tipping. We've got problem with housing. We've got problem with NHS in our community. We've got a huge problem here with potholes. Yeah. So this is because of our local councillors. Even other websites are claiming, yeah, about fly tipping in King Cross. Yeah, these politicians who are career politicians, Fazal Shahzad, are calling him a political prostitute. Yeah, he should realize that he's got children at home as well. How is he going to be accountable? Yeah, how will he face his creator on the day of questioning? Yeah, when everyone will be raised, how will he face his creator? That's the question. Now, for with Sha- for, with Shakir Saghir, all I can say about him, and my personal opinion, that he's not chilled out with any of the Labour Party. He's not slept with the enemy, as you call it now. Yeah, for 20 years, he's always campaigned against the Labour Party, and he will continue to do that. Although he's a bit BLADARY system and he can't string a sentence together, but that's the best we have in our community. Yeah, we went all around Halifax in Ramadan selecting for the independent candidate. I went to Madani Masjid, I went to Road Street, yeah, Mufti Dastargir. I even rang Dr. Fayazov to become a candidate. He refused. He thought that he had a lot of responsibilities doing other things. But yet again, he then I later on found out from Huram, which was shocking last week, that he's got time. He had time to do the duties for Labour as being the chairman of Labour, and he willingly offered help to help them out as well. Although Huram mentioned that he left on the 17th of January. This is the open discussion with him. I invite him, Dr. Fiaz, on hxvoice.co.uk to openly discuss his stance with Sadia Zaman and Labour Party. Yeah, because now you have jumped the camp of Islam to the camp of Shaitan as described in Surah Mujadila. I think I've gone on for too long now, yeah. So let me give a chance for others to speak
Yeah,
now, yeah.
let me as you was about Shaka. Yeah, no doubt, I agree on that. That he's never slept with the enemy. He's never been cozy and pally pal with all these Labour in Park Ward and in Labour in general as well. And he is the best for us, to be honest with you. Looking at what we've got, out of all the options, he is the best man.
Personally, I would disagree with that. I would say Sabar is the best one in terms of he's well spoken and so forth. Yeah, the difference between the two is Sabar has been with Labour for so long. There's a lot of dirt that's been rubbed onto him, and that is dirt of hypocrisy and dirt of lies and dirt of corruption. Now, I can only assume this from the information that is provided to the community, i.e., his campaign leaflets. In one instance, he says that he's not seeking political office, and at the same time, in his leaflets, he described that he's part of this organization, part of that organization. He's been hovering around with politicians for 20 years. So I would say that he might be the best person, but he's not the sincere person to do this job. So from the two candidates, yeah, uh, Shakir is the sincerest because he's never slept with the enemy. Saber is maybe come across as outspoken and so forth, but can we really trust him for sleeping with the enemy for 20 years and we let him back in and we're going to shed some votes in?
What,
That's the public issue.
which bit do you disagree with then, that I said? Because that's what I said. Out of all the candidates that are standing, Shakir is the best man to support. So which bit do you disagree with?
From all the candidates, is Shakir is the most sincerest, but he's not the best candidate. So moving forward, moving forward, we should vote for sincerity. That someone who has not slept with the enemy for 20, 30 years, like Saber has, and he's not coming forward for an interview, and Saber is now sending messages out, saying that in the dinner that he was having with Holy Lynch, that he was simply questioning her. So I can't trust that. Why is he scared to come for an interview in HalifaxVoice.co.uk? And that's the whole objective of this organization, is to bring the people onto the platform for them to raise their own voice. And if they're not raising the voice, then it becomes incumbent upon Halifax Voice to raise voice on their behalf from the knowledge and from the material that we've gathered relating to them.
Yeah. Now, what I'd like to say is that basically you keep mentioning this 20-year thing. Now, remember this, 20 plus years ago, it was the Labour Party led by Tony Blair who had this massive majority, okay? What he did was he then went and, according to their own law, illegally invaded Iraq, which was a Muslim country, and 1 million or so people got killed. And I think it was George Galloway who came on one of the BBC programs, and there was one of the government officials, and I think it was the lady we called Jackie, and he said you killed 1 million people.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Right. So like when you mentioned this 20-year thing, right? So if we've got Shakir right now. From what I've seen of Shakir, he seems like a straight man, right? Okay. So if you go back 20 years and he wasn't with Labour, and this had gone on at that time. Now you've got the other guy, Saber. Now, if he was aware that Labour had invaded Iraq, a sovereign country, right, and done all of that, right, then why was he supporting Labour back then?
And he continued to support Labour as well, even though,
Yes, and a lot of people, especially intelligent people, right, okay, they all walked away from Labour at that time, right, and it just wasn't Muslims. It just wasn't Muslims who walked away from Labour because of this, and up to date, even if you go online, you'll see still people make fun and references to the illegal war in Iraq, which was carried out by Britain and America. And basically, the Labour Party, led by Tony Blair at that time, who was the Prime Minister, Tony Blair was the Prime Minister, he basically blindly followed and took this country into a war, which turned out to be a lie. And it was on lies, and people died on their lies. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you put that into context, and then you then try and differentiate. Now, no disrespect to anyone, but I read online somewhere that somebody in Halifax said that at the moment Shakir is the best of the worst. So this is the situation you're in
Yeah.
that war. Okay. Now you had a mashwara in the masjid. The elders spoke. We respect our elders. Okay. This is our culture, right? We respect our elders. They made a decision. Really, Mr. Shakir should have stood aside as they requested. And the person that you, Mukhtar, you said you nominated, it's neither of them. It wasn't Shakir and it wasn't Sabir. So you had a guy there, but obviously that didn't go according to plan because of this person's participation. He wished to be in that, and he's basically imposed himself on that community, and that's the situation you're in now. He's like the best of the worst to vote for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it's up to the people how they vote. It's not up to me to tell them what to do. I'm just giving my opinion.
So anyway, let's conclude it now.
Exactly, and everybody needs to make it clear
So sorry, it's going to
from the
finish in
Muslim
1 minute.
perspective that
This call is
we
going to
don't
finish in
agree
1
with
minute.
what
So any final concluding
Yeah.
remarks? Eh?
we don't agree with the genocide. I said every single Muslim in this country needs to make it clear that they don't agree with or support the genocide that's going on.
Yeah. And
As
we should
Muslims, we don't
support
agree
the
with that.
party of genocide, Conservative and Labour. What about yourself, Mr. Haroon?
Yes.
Final remarks?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Final remarks. Inshallah, I hope everybody sees sense and doesn't vote for these bloody genocide supporters and enablers in our community, man, and specifically Saudi Zaman.
Keep away from the.
Yeah. Hopefully, like you were saying before, that we for 2026 we need fresh faces, we need fresh young faces to come up and start getting active in this, because otherwise we're just gonna keep seeing the same faces, the same kind of characters, and it's just gonna be a repeat of everything, to be honest.
Like a merry-go-round going round and round.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. And this is the concluding session now. Jazakallah khair, and thanks for attending. Choose your candidate wisely for 2nd of May. Assalamu alaikum.